Welcome back to my channel, Simplified English 101. If you are new to this channel, please remember, like this video, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and ring that good old notification bell so that you can be informed when a new video is posted. In today's video, I will be discussing the persuasive essay. We'll be discussing what exactly is the persuasive essay, and we will focus on the introductory paragraph. By the end of the lesson, you are expected to be able to, 1, explain what the persuasive essay is, to examine the outline given and discuss the different parts that make up the persuasive essay, to explain what the thesis statement is and create your own thesis, as well as develop your introductory paragraph. Now, a persuasive essay is any piece of writing that aims to get the reader, which is us, to agree with your ideas or viewpoints. The writer, which is you, the student, will use their own opinion, ideas, sentiments, experiences, or facts, and try to work on the emotions and mind of us, the readers. Saying that clearly means that the persuasive essay does not necessarily focus on logics. It focuses on working on the emotions and the mindset of your readers. Now, based on the persuasive techniques discussed in a previous video, it should make it clear to you what persuasive appeals or techniques you would best use. The persuasive essay, it is also usually narrated in the first person voice, meaning you expect to see the pronouns I and other first person pronouns. And this is because it makes it easier for the writer, which is you, to connect on a deeper level with us, the readers. Now, your persuasive essay has 6 paragraphs. Some persons do write a 5-paragraph essay, but I will be teaching you one thing that many persons do not teach, which is your counter argument. So, of course, your introductory paragraph, it asks that you begin with your background information, you state your stance in a sentence, and you write your clear thesis statement. You're also expected to write 3 body paragraphs that supports the stance or position you have taken on the topic. You're also expected to write your counter argument, and your counter argument is that argument that you are going to put forth, or another theory that will try to oppose the opposition. Finally, you have your concluding paragraph, and it wants you to restate your thesis, summarize the points made, and justify the point or call to action. Now that we know what the persuasive essay should look like, let us move on into the parts of the introductory paragraph. Now, as a student, I normally remind you, think about ways that you can let the reader know a little bit more about the topic, just in case they did not. Then you want to clearly state your stance and, of course, your thesis statement. Now, for this particular essay, we are going to be agreeing with the topic, students should eat breakfast in the morning. You want to always think about the 3 points that you're going to use to support your topic. Now, before you even look at the 3 points, what actually is the 3 points called? This is called your thesis statement. Your thesis statement is the claim or argument that you're trying to make. It's like the spine of a book. You know, when you open up your book and it has all of those pages glued at the edge, and if you open and shake your book, the pages remain closely compact in that book. Your thesis statement is like the spine of a book that holds all the pages together. Your thesis is going to be connecting all the parts of your essay so that it reads as one. Now, your thesis statement, it should include 3 points, and these 3 points are what you will be discussing in the body paragraphs of your essay. Your thesis statement should be 1 clear sentence, and this should make sense. It shouldn't be 2 sentences or 3. It should be 1 sentence, correctly punctuated with your commas, your semicolons, your colons, etc. Your thesis statement should also be specific in that it must relate to the topic being discussed. And finally, your thesis statement is sometimes usually found at the very last sentence of the introductory paragraph. Now that we know all of this, what 3 points are we going to be using to write this particular essay? When you're thinking about your points, don't just write the first point that comes to mind and say, okay, I will be using this. Always try to find the strongest points to agree or to show that you disagree with the topic. In doing so, think about the opposition. So if you're agreeing, think about the points that someone who disagrees would come with, and if you're disagreeing, vice versa. The points that I've selected are points that I believe all would resonate with students. 1. Eating breakfast would replenish their energy supply and keep them healthy. The first thing I thought about was from the moment a student wakes up to the moment they go back home in the afternoon, their brains are working. Their brains are just wired to work like that for 5 days out of the 7 day in a week. As such, you need energy. You need to always feel strong and feel as if you're healthy, and the breakfast does that. So that point I thought was very strong, and so I decided to use it. My second point was that it would keep them alert. No student wants to fall asleep at school or constantly be yearning or be tired. And as such, eating breakfast would keep you alert, and it makes you perform better in school. And this is the ultimate aim at the end of the day. And finally, eating breakfast prevents you from getting ill or any disease. Whether it be the headaches or the tummy aches or whatever it might be, eating breakfast, I believe, would do this. Now, all these 3 points, I believe, are strong points that would resonate to a student because my audience are students. Now that we have our 3 points out of the way, it is now time for us to go into writing our introductory paragraph. Now, in writing your introductory paragraph, stick to the outline. The first thing on the outline is that it wants us to give some background information on the topic. Now, of course, you can use quotes from famous persons or questions, rhetorical questions, descriptions, analogies, and there are many other persuasive techniques that can be used. Do not, however, use any form of evidence. The reason why I'm encouraging you not to do so is because many times students begin with evidences and they do not appropriately connect the evidence with the point that they want to make. And as such, the point is lost. So begin with using things that you are comfortable with, especially if persuasive writing is not your strongest writing discourse. Know that we know that the first thing we're to do is to have background information on the topic. The background information given are factual information, in the sense that I thought about, why students would not eat breakfast and how many students I have met over the years who really do not eat breakfast in the morning. I have decided to begin with some sort of factual information. Now, remember that persuasive writing is not writing based on evidence. So you don't have to give logics and statistics, and you don't have to do that. Although it is a persuasive technique that can be used, I would prefer you reserve that for argumentative writing and focus on how to work on the reader's emotions within persuasive writing. And so a lot of people, especially young people, go through the day without having breakfast, which is true. Believe it or not, many students believe that it is not necessary, or they say they don't have time for that and begin their day with no meal. Now, you can write your stance in your thesis statement. However, I do suggest that if persuasive writing is not your strongest type of writing, then you can write your stance in 1 sentence. By doing so, it makes it clear that your stance is there. Your thesis statement is also clearly there. Now, the stance for this particular topic is that contrary to popular beliefs, breakfast is seen as the most important meal of the day, and its dismissal should not be taken lightly. Now, you can begin your stance by saying, I agree that breakfast should be eaten in the morning, followed by your thesis statement, your 3 points. You can also begin by saying, I disagree that, etc., etc. If you do not want to use the cliched way of, stating your stance, you can find creative ways to do so. Remember the 3 points we discussed earlier, those 3 strong points. Those points are going to be turned into a sentence that should be correctly punctuated, especially if it is a lengthy one. The thesis statement that I have, notice that it is correctly punctuated inside. All the points are separated by the use of a comma. There is an end punctuation mark there, and all the points that were discussed earlier are in my thesis statement. Now, this is what your thesis statement should really look like. When you're doing it, please remember to indent your paragraph. You must indent your paragraphs. Remember to begin each sentence with a capital letter, and remember to correctly punctuate your sentences. Once you have done that, then your introductory paragraph should be perfect. Now it is your time to write your introductory paragraph. This has brought us to the end of our video for the day. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe to this particular channel, as this will help me out. And remember to hit that notification bell so that you can be informed when a new video is posted.